traveler. Welcome to Floki's Midgard. Shop the finest trinkets that you will ever find, even in Asgard, right here in my store. How are you today? Wonderful. And where does your journey bring you from? Oh, yes, I've spent a couple summers there. And where are you going? Wonderful. Well, I'm sure we have something for you. Perhaps you would be interested, and something for a facial hair, beard care. It's very important, after all, to have a good brush. You just... That's exactly right. As you can see, we have lots of the finest horsehairs. The finest of woods. Guaranteed to make your grooming needs all that much simpler. But if you're after something better, we also have lots and lots of other things. For instance, we have jewelry, as you can see here. This is the hammer of Thor, Mjolnir, the god of thunder, who sees himself in quite many wars, often sported by our finest blacksmiths as being their god of choice. If you've ever sailed on the seas from one country to another, and you have felt the mighty thunder clap in the sky of Thor beating his mighty hammer, crafting weapons of destruction, this allows you to take a small part of that with you as well. We have lots and lots of jewelry made from the finest chains of silver and gold, inlays, Odin's raven, the three eyes. We have things that only can be found right here, and Asgard, of course, brought straight from Asgard down to here. But speaking of that, perhaps you find something that catches your eye. Oh yes, I can see where your mind is. We have a lot of drinking ware. Would you like to see the drinking ware? Oh yes, well, when you came up, you actually saw me with one of them. This is the first that we have in the smaller renditions. This is pure ox horn with a wood base bottom. As you can see, absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and no two are the same. We saw the impracticality of having a drinking horn that was spiked. You could never set it down, and while we definitely encourage excessive drinking and emptying your glass so you don't have to set it down, sometimes you might want to, so we cut off the horn and put a wood base on it like this. And then the rest of the horn, of course, is a beautiful, unique shimmer, shine. No two horns are the same. Killed by a mighty, mighty woodsman and severed for your drinking pleasure. As you can see here, we also etched the beast, Fenrir, the beast who will bring about the end of the world, Ragnarok, who will rise up, break its chains, and swallow the sun. Fenrir that you want to, let's say, drink more of, and a lot more. We have larger cups as well. For instance, we also have what they would consider to be a boot-sized cup as well, with the horn as well, given a base. But also turned around so that you may also have a drinking handle as well, like so. As like with anything else, Spain, and only the most glorious, vicious beasts will ever be good enough for our drinking horns here at Floki's Midgard shop. That holds a lot. You don't want to be the last one at the drinking station, so make sure you get your fill right away. But of course, just like with everything else, we do have our traditional drinking horns, which look like this. This was taken off a mystical goat sent straight from the depths of hell, a perhaps cousin of Fenrir itself. And this is your traditional horn. As you can see, straight down, and if you wonder what this is, well, this is a accessory that will attach to your belt so that you can holster your drinking horn and walk around with it as well. In fact, this thing is so sturdy that we warranty that you can fill up your horn and put it on your waist, invade and breach the walls of Paris, and it'll be so sturdy you'll never spill an ounce. What do you say? A marvel, yes, the finest horns under Asgard, but let me prove it to you. Shall we share a drink? Yes, of course. One for you. Yes, well, just don't ask what this is. You'll find out soon enough. And of course, you'll like this. In fact, why, this is a smaller one. Why don't you take that? Yes. Skull. Well, of course, it tastes disgusting. It tastes like cow poop. It's a horn. You'll have to season it with many beverages, much like that one. Oh, perhaps gathered around and looking at all of these trinkets, it reminds me of the story of Thrym. Have you ever heard of the story of Thrym before? No. Well, while you sip that, let me tell you about the story of Thrym and the hammer of Thor, Mjolnir. You see, Thor was and is kind of careless with his things, and one day the hammer Mjolnir was gone. It vanished, suddenly disappeared, and upon further inspection, it was revealed that the giant king, the Jotun Thrym, had taken it. Thor was upset, obviously, so he rallied to try to go fight Thrym. But Thrym said it was no use, for he had buried Mjolnir 6 earths into the ground to never be able to find it. So Thrym proposed something. Thrym proposed that. 1 second. Thrym proposed that he would give back Mjolnir if Freya agreed to marry him. Freya being the mother of us all, essentially, the goddess of earth, the sun, everything that matters. Frey, well, this is abomination. Frey could never marry a giant, so they concocted a plan. Heimdall, the keeper of the gate and one of the wisest in all of Asgard, came up with a plan that they could dress up Thor as Frey. They could get a very large dress, put Thor in this dress, and just say that it was Freya. Well, Thor needed Mjolnir, obviously, and so he agreed. And then Loki, the trickster, said, I don't want to miss this, so Loki volunteered to come with them as Thor's bridesmaid. So both Thor and Loki wore dresses with shawls to cover their identity. They showed up among the Jotun for the wedding of Frey and Thrym. Well, upon seeing his very burly bride, Thrym remarked to Heimdall, there is such a fire in Frey's eyes, and Heimdall retorted, that's because she is so nervous and excited to be wed to you that she hasn't slept in weeks. And then, without even missing a beat, Thor grabs his mighty glass and downs it as such. Thrym responds by saying she has quite a mighty thirst as well. Heimdall responds, it is because she's been so nervous to see you and to get wed that she has not eaten or drinking in weeks. Well, believing that they were about to make good on their promise, they bring out Mjolnir. As soon as Thor sees it, he goes crazy, much as the god of thunder tends to do. And he grabs Mjolnir with all of his might and slaughters all of the Jotun, all while wearing his dress. It is allowed by the laws of the Aesir to do such a thing because they were Jotun, they were lower class, but a humorous story nonetheless. All for the hammer of the gods. Well, now that you have sipped your beverage, let me show you one more thing that I have. You've seen the brush, of course. You've seen the jars. You've seen the jewelry, but let me show you perhaps one more thing that you might be interested in at Floki's Midgard shop. Something that only keep down below and show to special guests. So you are a special guest, at least today. have a false understanding of rune stones. They believe runes are made for mysticism or magic or witchcraft. They might believe that they tell calendar dates or potential hexing powers, but that's not necessarily the case. They do hold the powers, but the power is in communication. It's in being able to read and being able to tell of the stories of people like Ragnar and people, the tales of the sons of Ragnar and the story of the seeds of berries, and just lots of stories. But the runes are very limited in their ability to communicate. Perhaps, for instance, something like this, it means wealth, or it means, cow. Something like this could mean something else, and going together almost like they call in other countries, sort of like tarot cards. Perhaps they could be seen as being a little bit mystic, but they are no more mystic than dictionary words, definitions, communications. So, let us pick a rune for you. It almost fell right out. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. You know what? Hand carved from Asgardian stone. You have been so delightful so far that I will just give that to you free. No worries. After all, I have a lot more in here. Oh. Tell me, now that we have conversed, have you seen anything here that is of need for your travels? Yes, take a look, take a look. Yes, only the best, of course, of course. Yes, of course, of course. Yes. Well, do pass through on your way back. I would be happy to show you some more of our stores when you come back. When, note I say when. Yes. We'll finish your drink and then you can purchase that cup, the smaller one. Yes, that's probably more fitting. Make sure that you don't drink too much of that in one sitting now. This is what the mystical beings, that Berserkir, drink when before going into battle. They drink a special concoction of various fluids and magical mushrooms, and so far become otherworldly, so far passing humans, able to see the gods themselves. So go easy on that. Yes, well, thank you for coming to Floki's Midgard shop, the finest trinkets in all of Midgard, straight from Asgard itself. Come back on your way back. I'll be happy to share another story and another drink with you.